Hey everyone, it's BlueLizardJello here, and welcome back to another episode of Everything Possible here in Dark Souls 2, and today we tackle Dragon Aerie. Now, Dragon Aerie is not only one of the most beautiful pieces of scenery in the entire game, it is also one of the most bountiful places for upgrade stones and infusion stones if you're looking to farm. And the reason I say that is because there are 11 crystal lizards for the taking in this area, and I'm going to show you how to get all of them. Now, the first one is actually right in this first room behind these dragon eggs, and I'll miss a couple of times. The nice thing is that these eggs actually are a barrier to the crystal lizard, so he actually won't start running until you break it. So here we have a large Titanite Shard, Twinkling Titanite, and a Palestone, and then behind the lizard we have a Radiant Lifegem. Now we do have 3 guardian dragons in the area, but they can be taken out just like the ones that we fought as an actual boss, just by spamming Great Lightning Spear. The only thing you have to worry about is occasionally they will actually unleash their Fire Breath attack, but luckily we're actually given some cover in case they do that. More often than not though, their AI is actually going to trap them behind some rocks, and you can just take pot shots at will. Now in this next area where the dragon was, there are 4 crystal lizards and then a 5th one in a ramp up top. So as usual, I advise using range, and the reason is if you run out there and start trying to attack, chances are one or more are actually going to run away and disappear. Now you can just run back to the bonfire and you can reset the crystal lizards and the dragons don't respawn, but I like to try to do things in as minimal steps as possible, so we'll go ahead and use the range method. So we have 2 down, 2 more to go. First I'm going to hit this rock with lightning just because it's in my way. I thought maybe it would drop something, but it didn't. Now, I chose to get a little bit higher ground here just because you don't want to hit the ground either in front or behind the crystal lizard, because then you'll actually cause it to aggro and you'll probably miss out on it. So when in doubt, aim higher than you think you need to. This next crystal lizard drops a Titanite Shard, large Titanite Shard, and a Titanite Slab. There's a Darknight Stone and the corpse hanging out in the hole here. Here we have a large Titanite Shard, Titanite Chunk, and a Petrified Dragon Bone. And then we have the Dragon Tooth, Havel's old famous weapon, hanging out in this dragon nest. Now up this ramp is a 5th crystal lizard, so make sure that as soon as you get to the top, you're either attacking or you're spamming your spell. We have 2 large Titanite Shards, Petrified Dragon Bone, and a Raw Stone. And the great thing about these crystal lizards is that each one actually drops 3 different stones per drop. We have a Boltstone in this corpse, Soul of a Brave Warrior here, Twinkling Titanite here, Titanite Chunk, Petrified Dragon Bone, Old Mundane Stone, and Titanite Chunk, Twinkling Titanite, and Darknight Stone. And there's nothing up this ramp, so don't waste your time like I did. Now you will notice that there are multiple dragon eggs in this area, and some of the items do require you to break through them in order to get them. However, you have to limit the number of dragon eggs you're breaking, because the more eggs you break, the less time you actually have to cross the final bridge before it gets destroyed by dragons. We have an old Radiant Lifegem there. The nice thing is, resting at a bonfire does reset the dragon egg counter, so if you think you've broken too many, once we've unlocked the shortcut at the end, just go ahead and rest at the bonfire and you should be fine. Also, if you had pulled that lever that FromSoft vehemently told you not to pull, that frees Navlan the Sorcerer, he will invade you in this area, so kind of keep your wits about you. Here we have our 2nd dragon, sleeping, so we can take a couple of pot shots off before he wakes up. I really love the dragon designs, by the way, of these dragons. I guess technically these are wyverns. And the reason I say that, even though there is no strict distinction between dragon and drake and wyvern and worm, typically wyverns have 2 or less legs. And if you notice, these guardian dragons only have 2. Dragons, in folklore, typically have 4 legs. So the ancient dragon truly is a dragon, whereas these would be considered wyverns or drakes. And now you know that I'm a complete and total nerd. Here he is, trapped in his little AI stance, so we can go ahead and take shots at his head. Now we're going to take this path off to the right because there's an item hiding behind some dragon eggs that we can get. Luckily, we only have to break 1 to actually get the item. Here in this back corner, you can just loop around and break this back left egg, and you can get the Petrified Dragon Bone. We're going to skip this ramp because there's no items up there. It's just, I guess, a shortcut or an alternate route. But instead we're going to go right into the arena because there are some more crystal lizards for us to take out. You can see off in the distance. However, there's one actually hiding right behind this rock, so you want to make sure that you snipe this one before you go for the others, or else this one will actually run away. Him dead, we can start making our way out. Oh, so close. Again, when in doubt, shoot over their head. We have the soul of a great hero. And I know that I ran past an item. Don't worry, I am going to loop around and get it. And with the 3 crystal lizards dead, we can get the rest of the items. So Petrified Something, useful for trading with the crows. Titanite Shard, Twinkling Titanite, and Faintstone. 2 Titanite Shards, actually. And this crystal lizard dropped a large Titanite Shard, a Chunk, and a Petrified Dragon Bone. And now I'm going to take this detour on the left just to show you an item that we'll be getting a little bit later. And this is one of the very few nitpicks I have about this level. Otherwise, I absolutely love it. I mean, it's beautiful, it's got dragons or wyverns, and it has zip lines. So get excited for that. What bothers me is that there are 3 items, or at least 3 sets of items, that you can only get by dropping down or by dropping off a zip line, and then the only way back is to actually use a homeward bone, or in this case, an aged feather. I guess I just don't like when there's no optional way back. We have a few Titanite Shards, Twinkling Titanite, and a Magic Stone, and you see a transition here to pick up this large Soul of a Brave Warrior because I did have to loop around and get that, because I did notice that I had forgotten it originally. Coming through here, we do have the 3rd and final Guardian Dragon of the area. Fortunately, we are completely immune up here. He can breathe fire, he can try to fly up. As long as you stay on this ledge, he cannot and will not hit you. We do have to be careful because we do have a crystal lizard directly below us on another ledge. So if we were to try and hop down to kill the dragon, chances are the crystal lizard is going to make his escape. And I love that shot. He acted like he was going to fly up and get me, which he wouldn't have anyway, but I stopped him dead in his tracks. So here I make a mistake. I don't aim as high as I should have, and unfortunately it looks like this crystal lizard's getting away. Oh, unless I can snipe him. You gotta admit though, that was a pretty good shot, even though it didn't kill him. And this guy tries to get away, but at least he's a little bit closer. Soul of a Great Hero, and then a pair of Titanite Shards, a pair of large Titanite Shards, and a slab. And for those of you worried about not having enough Ring of the Evil Eye, we got another one, this time the +1 version. We have a Fire Drake Stone, and a Dragon Charm. So that is actually all of the items that we can get to without having to either backtrack or without having to get them and then warp back to a bonfire. So we're actually going to go back to the original starting position using this awesome zip line. Love it. Run up this ramp here. There's a ladder that we can kick down to open up a shortcut right to the bonfire. Go ahead and equip my H Feather because there's no reason to use the Homeward Bones anymore. And a really, really bad cut here. Sorry about that. However, if you let go right when you're over the bridge, you should be able to roll and grab this Soul of a Great Hero without any problem. Use the H Feather and we'll go again. So on this run, we will go back and we'll kill that crystal lizard that we let go, and then we'll also get those items that we saw below us when we took that alternate path down to the left. So using the zip line, very long zip line, a very enjoyable zip line. Crossing this bridge to where one of the guardian dragons were, and we can see the crystal lizard in the distance. And just to add insult to injury, we will use a great lightning spear to take him out. And we'll get Twinkling Titanite, a Boltstone, and a Palestone. Now we'll have to break some eggs here to get through, which is not a big deal, because we will be resting at a bonfire. carefully hop down, grab this Soul of a Brave Warrior, and then there is a Ferrous Lockstone on the other side of these eggs. And now we warp back. Climb the ladder yet another time. Run down the ramp. And right next to this rock, carefully step down and pick up a Twinkling Titanite. And now we go back to the bonfire for our last time. And that's it. That is all of the items that you can get in the Dragon Aerie, barring a few drops. I know the explosive undeads here can drop Dark Pine Resin and a couple other items. But as far as the definite items, you've seen them all. So now we get to take this awesome zipline yet again. But this time, we're going to first take a look at the absolute gorgeous scenery of this floating castle, these beautiful crags, these majestic wyverns prancing about in the sky above. It's my epic music. And now we'll just walk across this bridge. Now this is the bridge that if you've broken too many eggs, you may not make it across. There is a threshold at some point where you can't make it. If you break it maybe 10 or higher, then the dragons will go ahead and destroy this bridge regardless of how long you spend on it. So keep that in mind. If you're not feeling confident, just rest at the bonfire before making that run. And that's going to do it. I know it's a short episode, but I don't want to cover too many areas in one, and there was a lot of items to be grabbed. So if you learned something, please leave a comment below, and I will catch you guys next time.